Okay, so perfect segue. Going in from the POAs and updates, we'll go right into some some updates that are being worked on in HEC 23. So for those that have not met Laura is a senior hydraulic engineer with FHWA Resource Center. Her experience includes work as a researcher under several NCHRP hydraulic studies. She also is authoring reports associated with those reports, also is the co-author of HEC 23. And in addition to that, for those that have taken NHI courses, she is an instructor for over 7 NHI courses relating to scour, resiliency, stream dynamics, and modeling of river encroachments. So with that, Laura.
All right, thanks, Casey. Paul didn't mention, but I feel like maybe we should have had like a drawing contest for what the Snibby mascot looks like. I don't know about you guys, but I'm picturing something between like a jelly bean and you know those furry Muppets with the antenna and they say, nope, nope, yep, a Snibby, right? It needs a mascot for sure. Yeah, right, Paul's right on it. All right, I did not mean to, for this, I wasn't thinking holistically coming up to this conference. I did not mean to spend 2 days hitting y'all over the head with, hey, we're updating HEC 23. But as my colleague Ryan astutely put it, we are updating HEC 23 under the premise that you're all probably doing it wrong. So the last update to HEC 23 was over 10 years ago, and it was a huge update. For those of you who are countermeasure nerds and scour nerds, you'll remember that it was a massive improvement in our design recommendations, right? We separated it into the 2 volumes. We came up with the design guide approach to it, and so it was a huge reference. But as we've learned in the last 12-ish years, we missed really emphasizing some very key points. So we're putting that into the update to the manual. And so when we talk about updating HEC 23, that's both Volume 1 and Volume 2. We're going to maintain that reference manual in Volume 1, design guides in Volume 2. This is even more important now, as many of you have probably heard Paul say, that the SNBI itself incorporated not just HEC 18, but now HEC 23 and HEC 20 are part of the regulations and guidance, so having very specific and clear outlined guidance recommendations for you is really important at that point. So we'll update both volumes, and then as well as that, we're updating the course that goes with it. We are at the technically complete point for Volume 1, and we're at the 50% for Volume 2 right now. All right, so as we said, there was a new final rule for the MBIS. This incorporated HEC 23 into the guidance. And one of the big things that we really feel is important, if you were in the course yesterday, was to talk about the countermeasures for abutment scour. I'm going to tell you now, except for a very small piece on narrow bridges, we are not changing our recommendations. We are clarifying and expanding the detail on it. Also, incorporated into this, and this is a very small piece of it, is we're including 2 new design guides on nature-based solutions, and those are vegetated riprap and engineered log jams. This is a very narrow slice of nature-based solutions that apply directly to stream stability, and in the case of vegetated riprap, can also apply right in your bridge stability area. All right, so what's this idea of what you might have been doing wrong? So we have clarified, this has been in HEC 18 and HEC 23 for a long time. When you compute total scour for your bridge, so you go in and we're talking about bridge abutments, you compute long-term degradation, contraction scour, and abutment scour. Federal Highways says you have the option to neglect abutment scour in your final foundation design, and that's because in the earlier days, our methods for estimating abutment scour were way conservative, and a lot of you know that who've been practicing scour computations for a long time. I see some heads nodding. Well, with the work done on NCHRP 2024 and the equations we now have, we're really confident that you can compute a more accurate abutment scour calculations. I am not saying shallower, I'm saying accurate, right? so you can get a more accurate abutment scour. And so now it's time to start talking about that option of incorporating abutment scour into your foundation design. And the converse of that is to understand, why do we use countermeasures at an abutment? And that is to make up for the neglect of abutment scour. It is specifically there to counter the lack of consideration of abutment scour in your total scour estimates that you give to your bridge engineers and your geotechs when they design the bridge, right? So an abutment scour countermeasure is an essential component of your foundation stability. The other side of that is, if you have incorporated abutment scour into your foundation design, you don't need an abutment scour countermeasure. You do need to protect the embankments. AASHTO says that. You need to protect the embankments, but you don't have to protect them to the 500-year or the scour critical flood or the scour check flood like you do for the abutment scour countermeasure. So we're laying this out. We're putting a whole lot of words behind it. We're putting graphics behind it. We've laid out this flow chart that really emphasizes this idea of what is the intent behind an abutment scour countermeasure and how does this relate to your interdisciplinary team interactions. If you look at this flow chart in front of you, you can see that there are 3 different iterative loops between you and your multidisciplinary team where you should be talking about what are we doing to compute abutment scour and how are we managing it in our foundation, right? And so that's what we're really trying to hit home with this latest update. So if that's new to you, write down my email, let's talk later. And we've got a lot of information that I can give you on backup and we can go through that. I promise you that's in HEC 23 right now, and it is not as clear as it could and should be. All right, other exciting things happening with HEC 23. I love this part, right? Let's get over the serious stuff. This is way more fun. We are going to create 5 to 7 minute videos on each design guide that are made as refreshers, because as I'm sure almost, if not everyone in this room does, the new way to do things is, oh man, how do I design bendway weirs? FHWA, bendway weirs. And you watch a 5-minute video on it, and oh yeah, right, those are the primary design concepts. So we're really excited. There's going to be 22 videos, I think, so this is fun. I put it up here with all the rest of our YouTube videos. Oh, this is not a updated slide. We're way past this now. We've actually got almost twice as many videos on 2D modeling. We're coming out with 5 or 6 videos on sediment transport. So we're really building our hydraulics library of YouTube videos. So they're out there in packages. The countermeasures are coming. We're also updating the course. It'll be a little bit longer, a lot more fun. We're going to have a lot more engagement, and we're going to look at some new technology and some new ways of looking at things. If you've taken the course recently, you remember that the visuals are a little outdated. It can get a little dry, so it's going to be a lot more engaging and a lot more fun. How do you know when the next edition of HEC 23 is out? Well, you sign up for emails on our Glove delivery address. We do not spam you. In fact, you're only going to get something from us maybe a couple times a year, but sign up for it and you're going to know as soon as it hits the street. So that's it. That's what I have for you. Any questions? Also taking submittals for the Snibby mascot. Okay. All right, thanks.